Hello everyone, my name is Saurabh Arora. I'm a Google developer expert for Android. And through this video, I would like to demonstrate how we can find the theme and view attributes that control the appearance and feel of your Android widgets such as buttons, seekbar, dialogues, etc. Hopefully, by the end of the video, you'll be able to answer questions such as how can I change the thumb of my seekbar or the text and background color of a certain view. All right, let's hop right in. So every Android widget actually comes with a default appearance right out of the box for you. So here I have a seek bar and a button, and as we can see, they look a certain way without any configurations or customizations needed from you. So how does this really work? Actually, to see what theme attribute is actually controlling the default appearance of these widgets, we actually need to look at the two argument constructor of the widgets. So here, let's go to the button class, and I can see in the two argument constructor that there's a button style theme attribute, which is actually defining how this button looks like. So let's navigate up our theme hierarchy to actually see where the value of this button that is defined. So to navigate up your theme hierarchy, you can actually do a command click on this or a control click if you're using a Windows machine. That should help you take into where the definition of this theme is. So as you keep on navigating up, we should reach the base theme, which will define what this button style looks like. So here am I at the base theme, and here's the button style. So the button style is actually pointing to a style called widget app compact button. So let's look at this widget app compact button. And here I'll see that the widget app compact button actually has a background of button default material, and it also has a bunch of other view attributes that are given default values. So let's look at the button default material upfront. So if I navigate further, the button default material is actually a ripple drawable whose color value is actually color control highlight. So the ripple drawable actually uses color control highlight for the ripple effect that comes in when you tap the button. And for the regular shape of the button, it's actually button default material shape. And that is actually using a tint of color button normal. So now we know that this button out of the box actually adopts the color that is applied to this button shape is actually a color button normal. So let's look at what the value of this color button normal is. For that, we can go back to our values file, search for color button normal, and we'll see that the button material light is actually what is assigned to this color button normal. And if I actually pick up the value of this color button normal, add it to the color picker, I can actually see it's a shade of off-white-ish. And this is actually the default value that's my button, the default appearance of my button. So now we know that is actually the color button normal, which is actually defining what this button is looking like. So now if you want to change the look of all the let's say all the buttons in your app, you can actually go to your theme attribute, override color button normal. Let's say I give it color accent. And then if I look at my button, it should actually, yeah, it actually takes up your color accent. Another thing I would like to point here is if we look back at our default appearance for the button, it actually uses text appearance button to actually control what the text appearance of this button is. So similarly, as we did for color button normal, what I can do is I can override, I can create a new definition for my text button, for my button. Let's say we have a new demo text appearance, and that's the value I will assign to this button. So here I've assigned the theme attribute a text appearance button to a new text appearance style called demo text appearance. And for this demo text appearance, let's say we are saying that all text all caps is actually false. And now your button is actually in lowercase. Another way that you can actually change the, let's say, the color of your button would actually by using default style. So as we saw, the button style is actually that defines what the value of your button looks like. So if I override button style and let's say I define it the default style theme, the default style demo button here, we'll see that now our all the buttons of our app actually use this new demo button style. So this button should update itself to reflect the new button style that we just defined. Okay, so now let's try to do a similar exercise with the seek bar. So for seek bar, we have a look at its two argument constructor, and you will see that it's the seek bar style that actually controls the appearance of this the seek bar widget. So similarly, you navigate up the theme hierarchy, and here we see that the seek bar style is actually widget app compact seek bar, and the seek bar has a thumb. And here we are at the thumb. So let's say if you want to change the seek bar, the thumb of the seek bar, you can actually change the thumb of the seek bar for every seek bar across your app by overriding the default style. So, so what I would want to point out here is you cannot change the seek bar's thumb by, let's say, overriding the thumb here. And let's say we point it to the launcher icon. And if I look at it, actually the thumb of the seek bar doesn't really change. And that's because we've added it at the theme level. Now, when the resolution for the view attribute, in this case, it's happening, the theme is actually the last place it will be looked from. So when the resolution happens, it's the first person who defines it. So if you define it in the XML place directly, that value is going to be used. Then it goes further back, further down and looks it into the, let's say, the default style. So at the default style, it actually found the seek bar, the thumb as we saw here, and that's the thumb value that got used, not the value that we've defined here. So now in this case, if you wanted to actually override or have a different thumb, we cannot do it at the seek bar at the theme attribute level. What we'll have to do is we'll have to do it actually, we'll have to create a default style and actually define it over there. So I define a demo seek check, sorry, it should be a demo seek bar. So let me define a demo seek bar, and that's the value that will actually define the Android thumb. And over here, I can override the seek bar style. Let me assign it back. Let me assign it to the demo seek bar. And now we look at our activity main. It uses the the new thumb, which is the launcher icon. So that's an example of how you should not confuse between theme attributes and view attributes, and defining view attributes directly in your theme is definitely not a good idea. Okay, so now let's try to change our theme to, let's say, material components. So here, let me remove the seek bar code. Here, I'll change my theme to material components. And now let's look at our activity back again. And as you see, our button is actually no longer looking the same. Even though we still have the button, we're still overriding the button style and giving it a background tint of red. The button is actually no longer using the red color. So something's changed simply by just switching to a different theme. So before we investigate on what could have happened, I would like to bring in a concept of view substitution or using view inflator class. So the app compact theme and also the material components theme actually define something called a view inflator class. So let's look at the view inflator class. Or actually first let's look at the view inflator class for app compact. So let me go back to theme app compact, and as you go to the base of your app compact theme, we'll see that it has something called a view inflator class, which is app compact view inflator. Now, what a view inflator class is, it allows the during layout inflation, it allows this view inflator class to actually replace or substitute the framework widgets with its own implementation. The details of how it works is probably beyond the scope of this video, so I'll link a blog post below, which will actually explain how this really works. But for the sake of this video, you can pause and read that blog post first, or you can proceed just with the knowledge that this view inflator class will actually has a chance to hijack the layout inflation process and actually replace framework components with its own implementations. So if you look at the app compact view inflator, we can see that it defines a bunch of its own components, such as the app compact button, app compact image view, app compact edit text. And when it sees let's say a button, in your XML, it will actually replace it with its own implementation of a button. Similarly for image button, radio button, etc. So what really happens is when you're putting a button in XML and you're using the theme.appcompact, what it's actually getting swapped with is a app compact button. So keeping that in mind, for the app compact example, if we change it to theme material components light.no action bar, and material components similarly like the app compact theme actually defines its own view inflator class. So if we look at this view inflator class, we'll actually see, sorry, yeah, we'll actually see that the view inflator class has its own implementation of the app compact button, which is actually a material button. Similarly, they have one for material checkbox, material radio button, material text view. This I'm using version 1.1, and as more versions roll in and as new updates come to the MDC library, it could be that they start to substitute more buttons, more framework widgets for you when you just define them in XML. So currently they are doing it for button, checkbox, radio button, and text view. So now actually the material button is being used and not the app compact button. And that could potentially be a reason why the button style is actually not being respected. And if that is actually the reason, then the two argument constructor of the button material button should actually now be using a different theme attribute and not the button style, which is why the button style was actually no longer able to control its default appearance. Let's validate that. I go inside material button and I see there's a material button style. And now we know that it's the material button style which is actually controlling what this button looks like and not really the button style. And we can also go ahead and see what the definition of this material button style is. So I have the material button style defined here. If you look at widget the widget material buttons dot button, go ahead into the details of it, and we'll see that the background tint here is actually material button background color selector, which is actually using color primary. So now you know that your button here actually is taking the color from color primary. So it's actually the color primary that's being used in the look of this button. And because we know that now it uses material button style, what we can do is we can actually replace it with material button style, inherit from the material components button, and now your background tint should be back to red. So hopefully by now you've figured out how to find attributes which control the default appearance of your views. So probably it's a lot more easier for you to know where these values are defined and how you could actually go about changing them. This should hopefully make it easy for you to figure out how to change the colors and font size of, let's say, your toolbars, bottom bars, or any widget in Android. If you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. Bye.